Right, while I was on holiday, I went into Dover Castle, and they have a big thing for Spitfires. And I've always wanted one of these Airfix kit, so I picked one up. And I paid the 17 quid because it all went to the Heritage. Let's see if we can open it up and see what makes it a quick build kit. I want to try doing this without damaging the box too much. There we go. We have some stickers, but that's for the model I do not know. Give me a second. No, wrong one. Nope, it doesn't match the picture of a Spitfire I've got in my bedroom, which I need to take a picture of and post here. Lots of non-Lego bricks. Not sure who it's made by because it's got a double H logo instead of the Lego logo. Wonder if this is Hornby, or somebody other company. If I work that out, I'll post that later. Anyway, as you can see, it's all not Lego bricks. So let's open up the instructions. There's where to put all the stickers. And let's move to step 1. Use lots of red pieces. Wing tips. Camouflage pieces. So what do we want? We want a 6, a 2, two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. What, 16? A couple of 4s. Smoosh on there. Fits together a lot nicer than some other Lego kits of late. Right. Put that to one side. We need tail sections. One green and one brown. Go together like that. And after that, we want the undertail, which go back a little bit. You need to step it one peg back. Be careful of this. This is an important detail. Right. Now for 4, we want this piece, and the tail goes like so. We want the upper piece, which is the back end of the cockpit, and the other half of the tail goes in like so. That's the simple tail assembly to push it in secure. Right, we want a brown which is part of the wing, and it says we want a wheel, and that goes on this bit here apparently. Hang on. The part is actually keyed so it can only go in one way. And then we want a wing piece, and then that rotates around there, and that slips on there, so you can just see the wheel sticking out through the bottom. If you can't guess, this is a flying model, not a fixed model, not a ground model. And we want a brown wingtip. That goes. Well, it's supposed to go there. Oops. It goes in there. There's a tiny little overlap. And we want the big green bit. Slots in there, not very well, but it slots in there. And we want a little brown bit that fits in there. It's quite a soft fitting, so it might fall apart again. Put that to one side. Then we get our big brown bit, and the wheel goes in there. Again, it's keyed in place, so it can only go in one place. Then it says green bit just slides in there. Then we have the other wing. That slots in there. Then we turn it 180. Then we stick green tip on there. And we stick our green piece over there. And then these two go together. You see there's a hole in this piece and there's a peg in this one. The peg goes in the top and the hole in the bottom, like so. Then we get, is this the cockpit pieces indicating? Over there. Looks like it. We want this piece like that. That slots in like so. Then that slips into the body, into the wings even, like that. Here we have the lower nose cone, or shall I say the lower nose fairing, goes in like that. Then our red pieces go in like that. We have another part of the cockpit that should fit in like so. We bring over the tail section and add it like so. Again, it's a bit soft, so it's not quite lining up properly. Then we have the other part of the cockpit that clips into place and knocks the nose fairing off, like so. We turn it over and smack the camera. We have the engine outlets. I'm sure it had more than 6, but then I'm probably misremembering which Spitfire model it is. We have the red bit that sits in the back of the propeller. That clips, that sits into the nose fairing. Then we put the upper nose fairing on there. We put the rear. Nope. Well, that says that's there. Ah, the rear nose cover there. We put the cockpit there. We put the radiator on. Like so it points backwards. And that's a Spitfire, and we just carefully assemble the clear stand like that, and join those together like so. Sits on like that, and then we can start putting the stickers on. So we have the yellow square which goes here midway along that line. Just below that panel. So both the top and the bottom should line up with that panel line. Yes, it does seem to sit at an angle. We want the big oval that comes over to here. Over here, quite misalign it a little bit. Then we have a number plate, a French flag, which I don't think is on the other one, so I'll just need to check that. So the red points towards the cockpit. Well, as we got these numbers, we'll use them anyway. Is that just to cover up the panel line? E-Borg. there we go. The non-Lego Airfix Spitfire. Well, it lives up to its name, being an Airfix QuickBuild. Thank you for watching.